Board to order. Today is September 10th at 7 p.m. Clerk Kornecki, will you please call the roll?
Trustee Aiello. Trustee Salella.
Here.
Trustee Kazone.
Here.
Trustee Case.
Here.
Trustee Tucker. Here. Trustee Wagner.
Here.
President Wolfus.
Here. So I'll stand for the pledge, and after the pledge, please remain standing for a short prayer. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Trustee Wagner has a prayer for us.
Heavenly Father, we come to you today asking for your guidance, wisdom, and support as we begin this meeting. Help us to engage in meaningful discussion. Allow us to grow closer as a group and nurture the bonds of community. Fill us with your grace, Lord God, as we make decisions that might affect the residents, staff, businesses, surrounding communities, and all those that enter the village of Villa Park. And continue to remind us that all we do here today, all that we accomplish, is for the pursuit of truth, for the greater glory of you, and for the service of humanity. We ask these things in your name. Amen.
The next item on the agenda is public comments on agenda items. Does anyone from the public have any comments on items 6 through 15, I believe? 16.
No one
No
signed
one
up.
signed up? Anybody? Give you one more chance? Okay. Thank you. And then do we have any amendments to the agenda? Do any of the board members have any amendments? Seeing none, we'll move down to item number 5. It's a Lions Club check presentation from the Summerfest receipts from the beer tent. And we have Director Gola from the Parks and Rec Commission. He's going to present the check to the Lions Club.
Thank you, President Wolfus. How are you?
Thank you.
Thank you. So the Villa Park Recreation Department, on behalf of the Village of Villa Park, would like to present the Lions Club with this check in the amount of $3,607 for all the help that the Lions Club members provided us during our 2018 Summerfest program. So thank you very much. Sid.
Now, before you guys go away, why don't you just tell the public a little bit what the Lions are going to do with that kind of money?
Thank you very much, Mr. President. And good friend Al. The Lions Club is strictly a service organization, and the Lions Club will help people locally and across the world, because the title is the International Lions Club. And when help, the main thing is sight and hearing, and that is we will present and help people get glasses, get sights that are not in a position to do it themselves, and the same thing with hearing glasses. We collect glasses, and they're shipped to overseas, to maybe what they would, I suppose, emerging nations, and where they can be fitted for them there. We can't do that here. I have to say this, that one of the thing that I did, I raised my hand at the wrong time and became president this year of the Lions Club. And I think that's, people have told me I should be really sitting back and sitting in my recliner watching television, but that doesn't work. And I want to thank Greg, and I want to thank the village for the privilege of being able to do work with the Summerfest and take this check. And it will be used for very good purposes. Thank you very much.
Wow. Thank you. I want to thank the Lions Club, too, for the work you do, not just here in the village, but around the world, as you just said. So I appreciate that.
One thing that being old, sometimes it slips your memory if you don't write it down. At a meeting,
I got a pen.
if I could write, I'd use it. At a meeting, when we picked up candy for Candy Day, which is going to be come up at the end of this month, which we all expected to buy all kinds of candy, and with all the sugar, and we'll give it out to the kids too, so parents don't. But we sponsor a place called Camp Lions. It's for children that have disabilities. And one girl was speaking at this meeting, this dinner meeting that we had, and she said, you know, one of the best things that happened to me was when I got to camp the first time, I found out there were other people that had the same thing with me, that they couldn't do either. And I wasn't alone. And I thought, boy, that touched me.
Yeah.
That really touched me. And once again, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sid. Thank you to the Lions Club. Thank you. All right, item number 6 is the consent agenda, which consists of A, the minutes from the board meeting of August 27th, 2018, and B, the bill listing for the weeks of August 27th and September 3rd, 2018, for a total of $1,223,916.98. Do we have a motion for the consent agenda?
Mr. President, I'll make that motion.
And second, Trustee Kazone.
Mr. President, I'll make that second.
Okay. Any questions? Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Wagner,
Yes.
Trustee Tucker,
Yes.
Trustee Silella,
Yes.
Trustee Kazone,
Yes.
Trustee Case,
Yes.
President Bolfus.
Yes. Item number 7 is the first reading of an ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, amending the Villa Park Municipal Code to amend the regulations for a Class D-1 convenience store liquor license. Manager Keener.
Thank you, Your Honor. The owners of Pride BP Amico Station located at 151 West North Avenue in Villa Park are seeking the board's approval of a modification to Village Code that would allow the sale of alcoholic liquors not for consumption on the premises at a convenience store without restriction to the business's square footage. The ordinance for consideration amends Village Code in accordance with this request. Thank you, Your Honor.
And a little expansion on that, that section of our village code requires that the convenience center, gas stations have to have 7,000 square foot to be able, or more, to be able to sell alcoholic beverages. And this modification would basically strike that line out of the code. So do I have a motion? This is just for discussion because it's first reading. So we're open this for discussion. Trustee Wagner.
Thank you, President Bolfus. So let's say that we have a gas station that wants to, that has a convenience store as part of it, and they want to sell liquor. Are we going to specify, are we going to give them specific details as to how many square feet they're allowed to have? And I guess my other concern or question is about policing that kind of thing, that it doesn't, that there's not an expansion of the area that sells liquor.
Well, the village code in section D-1, number 2, limits the square footage to 20% of the total square footage of the building. So,
Number 3 is the limited area.
yeah, number 3 is the limited area in that same section.
Right, so we're not going to say, we're not going to specify you have to have it, we're just going to say follow the code.
Follow the code. That the specification is in item subsection number 2 and number 3.
Right.
So and that's the code. 20% of the gross area, including the coolers, would be added part of that 20%. So,
That's all I had, thank you.
anyone else? Trustee Kazone.
That brings up a point, and I think it's in the ordinance, but that includes any space like coolers, any kind of racks or anything. It's limited to that 20%.
Yes.
Okay.
So this the opportunity, if any, if you have any complaints or anybody wants to make any modifications or any other recommendations, now's the time. Otherwise, well, give you one more chance. Any more questions? Trustee Case.
I'm still waiting to see some kind of a floor plan, just what they're gonna do.
Well, yeah, when he applies, they always supply a floor plan to us
Okay.
for the layout. He's got, that particular location has 1,344 square feet, which he'd be able to have 269 square foot for the sale of alcohol. So I would guess he'd just have one area. But this change, would also open up to, we all got a list of the last week of the square footage of all the gas stations, and every one of them would be able to sell, even though some of them have very small square footage. Trustee Tucker?
Why did we decide 20%? So I've noticed with some of the other villages, it's only 10% available retail space. Why did we decide on 20%?
It's currently 20.
Well, it's currently 20, and that was decided by the last board when this item was actually put on the, as a code, as a part of our code. We could have chosen 15, but the board consensus was 20%.
And was that decided because of the space issue? I mean, larger space, I could see 20%. Smaller space, 20% of a building that only has 968 square feet would be almost half of the footage almost of the, you're talking about, 3/4 of that building with the smaller space is almost 20% of that square
20%
footage.
is 20%.
Yeah.
So,
No.
but the 20%, as I remember too, came up because that was the request from Buc-ee's, who has a 7,000 square foot going up. Anyone else? It's last chance. Okay, well, we're going to move this on to second reading at our next meeting, which is on the 24th, same time, same place. Okay? So then we'll do a second reading, and then that'll be up or down there. So. Okay, next item, number 8, second reading of an ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, modifying the village code regarding red light camera enforcement. Manager Keenan.
Thank you, Your Honor. The village's current red light enforcement operator, Red Speed, has recently advised the village to update the red light ordinance for compliance with the statutory requirements in section 11-208.3 of the Illinois Vehicle Code. The ordinance changes include further details, especially regarding updated definitions, clearly defining the violation, clearly defining the information required on notices, clearly describing the notice of determination of liability and notice of the final determination of liability, adding the statutory remedy for driver's license suspension for 5 or more violations, and adding the recently approved collection fee when the village has to use a collection agency to collect the fine. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, do we have a motion for the ordinance for the second reading? Trustee Cielo?
I'll make the motion.
Trustee Kazone?
I'll second that motion.
I think you all should have received or did receive the information in your packets this week about some of the questions that Trustee Cielo asked last week. So with that, do you have any questions or comments in regards to this issue? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Trustee Case?
Yes.
Trustee Tucker?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
Trustee Aiello?
Yes.
Trustee Kazone?
Yes.
Trustee Salella?
Yes.
President Holdis?
Yes. Item number 9 is an ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, accepting a plat of survey easement for stormwater management, detention, utility, and drainage purposes at 65 East North Avenue, Able Motel Corporation. Manager Keener.
Thank you, Your Honor. The village wishes to reduce flooding at the intersection of Ardmore Avenue and North Avenue, as well as to the area to the south and east. Both have a history of flooding. An easement is proposed to allow a portion of construction of the basin on private property at 65 East North Avenue. Also, a proposed redevelopment on North Avenue wishes to extend existing sanitary sewer to serve their property. While a portion of the sanitary sewer is through the Schiller Street right-of-way, a portion also needs to cross private property at 65 East North Avenue, and acceptance of the easements by the village is required before the easements can be recorded. Thank you, Your Honor.
Do we have a motion for the ordinance? Trustee Wagner?
President, I'd like to make that motion.
Trustee Yellow?
Second.
Okay. Any questions or comments from the board? map that was supplied was confusing. So, a lot of lines on there, but no really reference marks, but I figured it out. So. Any questions? Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Silella?
Yes.
Trustee Kazone?
Yes.
Trustee Tucker?
Yes.
Trustee Case?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
Trustee Ayello?
Yes.
President Volkes?
Yes. Item 10 is an ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, approving a plat of dedication or dedication for public right-of-way of Hill Street. You have it too. Manager Keener.
Thank you, Your Honor. The Village of Villa Park currently owns a property located at 729 North Ardmore Avenue. A portion of the Hill Street Ardmore Avenue connecting road as well as underground utilities cross the parcel. Dedication of a portion of the property as public right-of-way will allow the village to continue to maintain the road and utility should the property located at 729 North Ardmore Avenue ever be sold. The village has prepared the necessary public right-of-way dedication documents, and acceptance of the right-of-way dedication by the village is necessary. Thank you, Your Honor.
So a motion for the ordinance, trustee Yellow,
So moved.
and a second, trustee Cielo.
Make the motion.
Okay. Any questions or comments? Trustee Tucker.
What's the footage or length of that right away? I was having a hard time figuring out what the actual distance is, one width and length that we're speaking of.
Manager Keener.
Your Honor, I believe that'd be best answered by Director Giskelis.
I see he's looking through his notes. 170? 120? 20 wide.
171.
Yeah, 20 by 170. Correct?
20.09 by 170.0.
Okay.
It's a plan of dedication, which is
It's about 20.70. Okay. Nope, that's all.
Okay.
I was having a hard time figuring out what the space was.
Okay.
From
Anyone
the
else? Roll call vote.
Okay, Trustee Tucker?
Yes.
Trustee Kazone?
Yes.
Trustee Case?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
Trustee Silella?
Yes.
Trustee Ayello?
Yes.
President Volkes?
Yes. Item 11 is a resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, approving an intergovernmental agreement between the Illinois State Water Survey of the University of Illinois and the Village of Villa Park, Illinois, for use of well number 7 as a monitoring well. Manager Keener.
Thank you, Your Honor. The University of Illinois State Water Survey is seeking an intergovernmental agreement with the village to allow reasonable access to well number 7 for deep aquifer monitoring. The village has no current plans to utilize water well number 7 as a potable drinking source and is willing to allow the university access for these purposes. Staff recommends approval of the intergovernmental agreement. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Do we have a motion for the resolution?
President Poltis, would you make that motion, or second the motion?
Do I have a second? Trustee Kazone?
I'll second that.
And just for the public and so that, and for the rest of the board members, if you remember, well number 7, we pulled that pump out of there very difficultly about 2 years ago, maybe 3. And we weren't in the need of the well anymore, and it was just, we didn't cap it at that time, and it looks like this university wants to use it for monitoring, so. Do you have any questions? Trustee Tucker.
What are they monitoring? I mean, what equipment are they going to be putting in this to monitor it? I mean,
Nope.
obviously, they're not using sticks and putting, a stick down the well because it's pretty deep. What type of monitoring are they doing?
Yeah, it was in our packet, but Director Giskelis.
Well, they're gonna run a line down there so that they can grab samples and measure the depth of the well, basically. The aquifer levels in the whole region are fluctuating, so they only have so many access points left in the region where they can actually measure the depth of the aquifer. So one of the main things they're gonna measure is depth, but I'm sure they're gonna be pulling samples occasionally if they can.
Are they going down the well to do that, or are they using equipment?
Oh, it's
to-
only about a 6-inch diameter shaft. They have
So
to
it's
run
only 6-foot diameter to go?
6-inch
Yeah.
diameter.
6-inch diameter, okay. So they're
You have to
basically
be a very
using
small person.
a very tiny person. So they're basically
covered.
putting hoses down there.
Oh, yeah.
Trustee Wagner.
Just a comment, I know that there's a concern about the growing salinity, the growing accumulation of salt in the aquifer, primarily because of the heavy use of salt on the streets. And I think they're probably going to monitor that as well, I would guess.
I would guess so. I didn't read anything about that in their proposal. Also glad to see in there that we had all the agreements, the insurance, to hold the village harmless, and the trustees harmless, and the president harmless, so if there's any incidents, so. Okay. Any other questions? Seeing none, roll call please.
Trustee Ayello?
Yes.
Trustee Tucker?
Yes.
Trustee Case?
Yes.
Trustee Salella?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
Trustee Kazone?
Yes.
President Wolfers?
Yes. Item number 12 is a resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, authorizing a contract with Arrow Road Construction of Mount Prospect, Illinois, for the 2018 street improvement project in the amount of $1,722,345.45. Manager Keenan.
Thank you, Your Honor. The 2018 street improvement project will consist of street improvements at various locations throughout the village and improvements to 3 parking lots which were bid as alternate bids. The project was publicly bid with 9 contractors submitting bids. Staff recommends awarding a contract to Arrow Road Construction of Mount Prospect, Illinois in the amount of $1,722,345.45. Funding and sources include the Street Improvement Fund, referendum as well as non-referendum, water and wastewater fund as well. Utility tax will reimburse the water and wastewater funds. Thank you, Your Honor. I know, I'm taking a drink of water.
Do I have a motion for a resolution? Trustee Kazone?
I'll make that motion.
Trustee Case?
Second.
Any questions or comments from the board? Trustee
I
Tucker?
have one question. Which one won out, the asphalt or the concrete for the public works? Because I couldn't tell which one was which on the proposal.
Director of the Scalise Vitas is coming up.
The
with-
recommended award is for concrete, just due to
For
the heavy
concrete?
trucks that go
Okay.
in and out of there. You have all those service vehicles for the antennas on the water tower, plus our vehicles coming in 4 directions. So for longevity purposes, we're recommending concrete.
Thank you.
And just for the public record, this is for Bierman Avenue, St. Charles to Division, 2nd Avenue, St. Charles to Holly Court, Westmore to Addison, Euclid from St. Charles to Division. And the half of the parking lot at the Sugar Creek Golf Course. So, any other questions or comments? Seeing none, roll call please.
Hey, Trustee Tucker?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
Trustee Ayello?
Yes.
Trustee Salella?
Yes.
Trustee Case?
Yes.
Trustee Kazone?
Yes.
President Wolfers?
Yes. Item 13 is a resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, authorizing an engineering service agreement between the Village of Villa Park and Clark Dietz Incorporated for the 2018 street improvement project in the amount of $132,336.40. Manager King.
Thank you, Your Honor. Clark Dietz, Inc. has submitted a proposal to provide Phase 3 construction engineering services for the 2018 street improvement project at a cost not to exceed $132,336.40. The funding sources for the engineering of this project include the Street Improvement Fund, referendum and non-referendum, water fund, and wastewater fund. Thank you, Your Honor.
Do I have a motion for a resolution? Trustee Case?
I'll make that motion.
Trustee Cielo? Second? Okay. Any questions or comments from the board? Seeing none, roll call please.
Trustee Kazone?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
Trustee Ayello? Trustee Tucker?
Yes.
Trustee Case?
Yes.
Trustee Salella?
Yes.
President Wolfers?
Yes. Item 14, resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, authorizing an engineering service agreement between the Village of Villa Park and Christopher B. Burke Engineering Limited for the North Ave and Ardmore Regional Detention Basin in the amount not to exceed $50,500. Manager King.
Thank you, Your Honor. The village completed 2 comprehensive flood studies in June 2015. One of the problem areas identified was southeast of the Ardmore North Avenue intersection. In July 2016, Christopher B. Burke Engineering, Ltd., also known as CBBEL, was hired to develop preliminary plans for a regional stormwater detention basin. CBBEL has submitted a proposal to complete Phase 2 design engineering services to the village at a cost not to exceed $50,500. The funding source for engineering would be the Storm Water Fund account number 6850210292. Thank you.
Do I have a motion for the resolution? Trustee Allen?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Trustee Case? Any questions from the board? Trustee Tucker?
Yes, I had a question to King early. Did they start that first thing, or did they take it over? There was a flood survey done previously in that area, correct? That I,
Yes, they finished part of the engineering, and now they're going to finish the second half of the engineering.
Okay, they
So
did
they're
do
the
the
firm that
first
did the
half.
first part, yes.
okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Trustee Solella. Got an L over there and C L over here.
How does this play into our new development of Bucky's in that area?
Manager Keener, go ahead.
Thank you.
I'll just check to see if you get it right.
Thank you. It assists because that intersection at Ardmore and North Avenue has a history of flooding, and by expanding the basin in this particular area, it helps that area and relieves the flooding. And this particular basin also helps the Brer Rabbit, which has flooding issues as well. And you'll notice on the map in the packet, it also adjoins or abuts the other detention basin that we have in the area, also behind the automotive store, if I'm not mistaken.
Will the new Bucky's footprint serve into the new detention basin? That'll be their drain point?
Yes.
What's up?
And if you remember, when we had some heavy rains this summer, that whole intersection flooded, the traffic was all messed up. Can I ask one question? Is the state going to pay for any of this development, this detention basin, seeing that we're relieving the flooding on North Avenue? Good question, huh? Well, it's always good to try.
We have not asked.
I think
Certainly we can.
we should ask. So,
We have the drainage shed, so we know who's contributing what area to the basin. But it does outlet back into a state storm sewer, so they can say they want a permit in return for it.
Yeah.
But we certainly can ask.
when you did this study where the water's coming from, where was it coming from? Do you know offhand?
Areas to the west primarily,
Areas to the west?
some to the south, but west and south.
I think we can ask. So, it'd be kind of nice to get anything we can. So. Okay. Anybody else have any questions? Trustee Ayala.
Are we going to pull a permit no matter what? from the state?
All the work is going to be on our right of way or within the new Isman area that we accepted earlier today, so there's no work on state right of way.
Do we have to pull a permit from the state?
Nope.
But if we ask them, we might have to pull a permit from the state. Can you explain that?
Well, once we see final design, we'll know if we need a permit from the state, but based on preliminary design, I don't recall there being any work on state right of way.
So your concern is we don't want to put any flags out for the state to say no, or what?
Yeah, I don't want to poke anybody that is sleeping.
Well, we poked them some other times in the past and we got some
That's
money.
money out of it.
Yeah, not there, but some other areas.
I think once we have the plans close to pre-final, that would be the appropriate time to approach them.
Okay. Anyone else? Trustee Case.
Can we make a point of asking all the time for money?
Well, if we have a legitimate reason to ask.
Can't hurt to ask.
Well, if you have a reason, yeah, just not to waste your time.
Phone call.
Okay. It's more than a phone call. So, okay. Anyone else? Roll call, please.
Trustee Salella,
Yes.
Trustee Kazone,
Yes.
Trustee Tucker,
Yes.
Trustee Wagner,
Yes.
Trustee Ayello, Trustee Case,
Yes.
President Volkes.
Yes. Resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, awarding a professional service agreement for Phase 2 engineering for the Maple Ave sewer separation and street improvement project at the cost not to exceed $351,000. Manager Keener.
Thank you, Your Honor. The village proposes street and utility improvements to Division Street, Cornell to Villa, Myrtle Street, division to Oak, Summit Avenue, division to Maple, Maple Street, which would be Illinois to Villa, Oak Street, which would be division to Villa, and Pine Street, Summit to Villa. As part of the Maple Area Improvements Project, Edwin Hancock Engineering Company has submitted a proposal to provide Phase 2 design engineering services for that project at a cost not to exceed $351,000. Funding sources for the engineering include the Street Improvement Fund referendum and non-referendum, Stormwater Fund, Water Fund, Wastewater Fund, and Sewer Separation Fund. The utility sales tax will reimburse the water, wastewater, and sewer separation funds. Thank you, Your Honor.
So a motion for the resolution, trustee Wagner,
I'd like to make that motion.
trustee Al. Any questions or comments? Trustee Cielo?
Several meetings back, when we had excessive rainfalls, we had some residents in discussing flooding in this area. Will this aid?
That's what this is
Windows.
all about.
Okay.
Yeah, matter of fact, we even moved it up a little more, 6 months or so.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Trustee Zone?
This work won't be out, the actual work won't be done this year though, right? 2018, probably be done in 2019?
I think we scheduled for 2020.
Okay.
Trustee Wagner?
Thank you, President Rufus. In the memo, it mentions there's a currently unfunded, where there's a design that's going to occur for a stormwater facility. What is the, can you describe what that stormwater facility will be?
By the way, I think we're talking about the backyard flooding in some
That
areas.
is correct. The backyard areas of Maple would require some type of storage, which means land acquisition and excavation. That was a placeholder in the CIP for the future because none of that can take place till the sewers are separated. But since we're designing the sewer separation now, we thought we would look at engineering the stormwater as well, so that when this project is on the shelf and ready, we can then determine if we can find the stormwater funds to pay for that portion of it.
We'll have a couple years to see if we can find that money.
That's all I had, thank you.
Anyone else? Trustee Tucker?
I realize we don't have a crystal ball, but are you anticipating any problems getting that loan from IEPA?
No,
No, okay, so,
unless there's drastic changes in Washington.
okay. So basically, we're anticipating that the loan will be there when we need it to go forward, or the grant will be there to handle it.
Yes, everything that we read is that the revolving loan programs are here to stay.
Okay.
Anyone else? Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Kazone?
Yes.
Trustee Case?
Yes.
Trustee Tucker?
Yes.
Trustee Cielo?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
Trustee Aiello?
Yes.
President Rufus?
Yes. Item number 16 is public comments on non-agenda items. Did anyone sign up,
No,
Clerk Mackey?
I have no one.
Does anyone else have any comments or questions? Yep. To the microphone, please state your name for the record. I think there's a sign-up sheet up there too, so.
My name's Bob Adamczyk. Live at 419 North Yale. About 56 years worth before even had streets out there. I have a problem with our water rates. Because of some physical problems, I put in an irrigation system, which works fine. What doesn't work is the village, the way they've got it written up and what they charge you. I have no problem being paid for the water, none whatsoever. I chase how much I want. If I want it to go up, that only can be on odd days, obviously. I can do that. However, the water charge for my last bill was $150.45. That was 17,000 gallons. However, I don't know what all this garbage is that you've got on here, but it says sewer 17,000. About 14,000, 15,000 went onto the lawn, and not for a treatment plant. Now, I've asked repeatedly to have a second water meter put in to monitor how much I use, just for the lawn, not for the home. There's my wife and myself, that's it, and we use 2,000 to 3,000 at the most. So if we get the fee for that, and the other one is this combined sewer separation. Mine are separated. I'm being charged for it again. I don't understand why. I don't know if the village has ever done a survey to find out how many homes have separated sewers for stormwater. You can't ask the question because I don't think anybody knows how to give me an answer besides that I'll accept. And then the next fun time is you send the information to Salt Creek Sanitary District. Now they process 15,000 gallons for me per quarter. The number should have been $15.92. I keep picking up a lot more money for water than what I make even close to using. Nobody wants to address it because the computer can't handle it. Now, if you know anything about computers, that's so much BS. They got okay.
I have no idea what that was.
So now, if you got a guy that knows anything about computers, he can put a flag in there and specify, I'll pay you for an entire year at 3,000 gallons a month. I'll just give you a check for it. The rest of it, I don't want to see it going over. If you're going to be going over to Salt Creek Sanitary District, I'll pay them for a year also. But the rest of it should be out of my hands. Nobody else should pay for that. And also, I got a water charge fee, administration fee, whatever the WWC fee is, stormwater management program. Got no stormwater management around my house. I live almost at the top of a hill. If I get water, everybody east of me has got to learn how to swim and tread water. And, it's combined source separation, that's not much. But when you add up all the numbers, it comes out to probably over $100 a month. And I'm on a fixed income and I'm not complaining about it. I think it's great. I wish everybody could be doing what I do. However, what can the village do to correct this thing here so I'm not being billed for what the meter reads? If you look at the records, when I shut the system down, the following month will be 2,000 or 3,000 gallons. Before that, this has been a good year. We had a lot of rain. I've had bills 200 plus. And it just so happens, born and raised in Chicago, I like my lawn. I like my flowers and the flower bed. What I can't handle is all this extraneous crap that I have on the bill that somebody used to get 3 lines of stuff to be done with the water bill. Now I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're getting somewhere, and I don't know where we're going. And what concerns me, with the problem, I got it, there's other people that have irrigation systems, and they got the same problem I do. The village doesn't seem to want to, or can't, or they can't get anybody that knows how to program a computer to do it the way it should be done. Now, if they don't know how, I'll pay them what I would normally pay for 3 months. In fact, I'll give you a certified check so you can't tell me again that I didn't pay my bill. Rich knows that. I've been coming here jumping up and down.
Yeah, it used to be our
Venus, he knows.
But even though you put the water on the grass,
right,
you have to pay for the water,
I don't have a problem with that.
okay?
My problem is all the processing fees that go with what I put on the grass.
And we all get that same processing fee on our bills too.
But the sewer fee, you get that on yours?
Yeah?
Is your sewer fee $60.69?
No, because it's
That's-
based on your water that you used, and your contention is the water's not going down the sewer, it's going on to the
The lawn
grass.
and the flower beds, yes.
So we're talking about maybe $50 more.
60.
Well, that's what yours is, but but you still would have to, you got 3,000 gallons going down the sewer.
No problem
so-
with that. With the sewer fee, that should have read, if it was 3,000 gallons, should have read $10
Yeah,
and
so
71 cents.
so $40,
It's 50
more.
higher.
yeah,
That's what the problem is.
$50.
In other words, if the village wants me to pay 3,000 gallons for processing, I'll give you a check anytime you want it. But take the rest of those things off. I'll pay for the water that I'm using on the lawn. I have no quarrel with that. My decision comes out of my pocket. It seems that I've got too many people in the village in my pockets with me.
But the only other, the other part besides the water usage that's on your bill is the sewer fee, because that's based on the gallons of water you use. But all the other items on there, those are the same for everybody.
That's okay, I got no
Okay.
problem with that.
So we're still looking at $50, right?
Well, that's for this here month.
Right.
Next month I should have shut the system down.
Right, then you're maybe 10.
And then I come back down to 2,000 or 3,000.
Which would be probably $10 instead of 60.
Something like that, yeah. And I don't know why somebody can't figure out with the computer, because we send the info to them in bulk. Well, it's not working for me, and I don't know how many other people.
I know, I stopped watering my lawn years ago and the rates went way
Well,
up.
I
So-
still like that green. When I get up in the morning, I look out the window, it's green. It's good for me. If it's brown, I didn't even see it.
All right.
You know, I hope you know where I'm coming from.
I think I
I'll pay for what I
understand.
use, there's not a problem in the world. But I don't want to pay for what I don't use. And the other thing is source separation. Mine are separated.
Mine are too. So
Why am I paying for it?
for everybody else who got theirs done after I got mine done. So,
Well, look at what's coming up in the election.
okay.
They're playing some games with us. Mileage that you drive your car, yada, yada, yada.
Yep, saw that. We'll
So,
refer that to
Anybody
the,
have any questions?
nope. We'll refer it back to the village manager.
Thank you. When do you want me to come into your office and start mowing the lawn?
Anytime you want, Mr. Advocate.
Okay, Bob, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Anyone else?
Just putting a return address sticker
Oh,
down.
that makes it
Saves
easier.
time.
Sure. Please state it so the public at home know your name.
I'm Steve Seddon. I'm with the Save Lufkin Pool Group, and I'm going to read a short press release that was emailed to all of you yesterday. Save Lufkin Pool Group launches nonprofit organization. At the end of February 2018, the Villa Park Village Board rejected a resolution to spend $200,000 to keep Lufkin Pool operational until there is a plan and funding for a new facility. The board decided to table the vote to demolish Lufkin Pool to give residents an opportunity to find a way to fund repairs. The Save Lufkin Pool Group has started a non-profit organization which is applying for 501c3 status under the larger name of Park Advocates of Villa Park. The group will raise funds to present to the village in order to repair Lufkin Pool. With Lufkin idle in 2018, Villa Park residents spent their dollars on recreations in other towns such as Lombard and Elmhurst. Restoring Lufkin Pool would bring the lost revenue back to Villa Park in 2019. Our organization will be raising money via online donations fundraising events, as well as looking into grants available to organizations in villages like ours. We are raising money with the expectation that the village will recognize the good faith, hard work, and determination of so many residents to make Lufkin a working pool again. To donate, to find out information about donating, whether electronically or by check, we have a P.O. box. Please visit savelufkinpool.org. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else from the public have any comments? Okay, with that, we'll move down to the clerk's report.
Okay. I do have a couple things today. First of all, this Wednesday, the SALT meetings are starting again. And that's the September, runs through June, will be the final one next year. That is at the Community Recreation Building. The program starts at 11. However, at 10:30, Officer Bregman does bring in sweet rolls, and there is coffee, so there's a little social time before, and then the lunch will be provided by the Senior Concerns Commission. So that's this Wednesday. The SALT meeting will be taking place. And also, I do want to announce that in regards to the consolidated election, which should be next April 2nd, 2019, the packets will be available as of September 18. They will be at the manager's office. There will be a sign-up sheet for those who take a packet, so I can keep track of it and also get back to them to see if there will be papers actually being brought in. So just so for those that are interested to know that it is as of the 18th, I will have packets available. There will be instructions in the packet and how they're supposed to be put together and all that type of stuff. So, and more will come along after the 18th. So that's just for the public. Thank you.
Thank you. Move to trustees report. We'll start on my right. Trustee Cielo.
I'd just like to remind the residents in remembrance of September 11th, which is tomorrow, to fly our flag, our country's flag, in remembrance of those who lost their lives, and support those who are left behind.
Trustee Zone.
No report tonight.
Trustee Case.
No report tonight.
Trustee Yallow.
No report, Mr. President.
Tucker.
I have two issues. Park and Rec Commission meetings tomorrow at Iowa School at 7 p.m. and everybody, of course, is welcome, as always. And the second thing is our children are very important. So fire department has nicely planned on September 22nd from 10 to 2, a national seat check. So all of those people that have children that are in car seats or baby seats, please, if you have a chance, stop by Firehouse by Willowbrook, the South Fire Station, between 10 and 2 and have those checked out. Make sure they are safe. I would hate anything to happen to our children here. They're very important. They're our future. If you cannot make it, they do have a statement on there that you can make a phone call to Mary Hornbeck at 630-592-6099. Please make that phone call between Monday through Friday from 8 to 4:30. Do not bother her any other time. That's when she'll be available. But if you can't make it, set up an appointment to have those checked. It's really important that our kids are safe. Thank you.
Okay. Trustee Wagner.
Thank you, President Polfus. I just had a couple things. Just want to let members of the public know that the Traffic and Safety Commission will be meeting here tomorrow at 8 p.m. here at Village Hall. And also would like to let folks know that the Villa Park Junior Women's Club, their Trick or Trot 5K run is going to be Saturday, October 27th. And if you'd like to participate in that, you can sign up online. The early bird registration rates, which is $25, goes through October 8th. And this is one of their main means of funding their scholarship program. I want to let folks know that the District 45 Education Foundation will have an event. They're calling it Foot Golf Open Classic. I tried to find out what foot golf is, place to call, but I didn't get an answer yet, but I assume it has something to do with kicking a ball around. So, and this funds the foundation. This is dedicated to the memory of Richard Search, and it's to participate in the foot golf, and the dinner is $25. Also, wanted to let folks know that the Chamber of Commerce has an event coming up on October 10th. This is an indoor mini golf tournament, and it's going to be held at the Odeum, and that's $25, and that includes participating in the indoor mini golf tournament and includes dinner as well. And I think the library used to have a sponsor program like this. It was lots of fun. So we encourage people to participate in that. And then I just happened to notice that Inland Bank is going to be sponsoring a paper shredding event, and that's going to be on Saturday, September 29th. Oops, excuse me. It's going to be Saturday, September 22nd, from 10 a.m. to noon. And that's all I had. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. For the President's report, I just have a couple things also. First off, myself and Trustee Tucker and some members of our staff participated with the Chamber of Commerce in a ribbon cutting for a new salon, Studio 9 on at 9 Park, East Park Avenue. So we have a new business in town, and we asked the ladies, if you would, to make use of it. Let's see if we keep them in town. I don't think they're willing to help me with anything. So, also a couple things I got in our packet here. I want to make the residents aware of. On our village website is a section on the home page that says Code Red. I don't know if you received that information yet. In case you haven't, Code Red is if you sign up for it, is an opportunity to receive emergency messages in the village, issues that come up in the village, emergencies and non-emergencies. It's a nationwide program, but they're able to specifically address your local area down to your block pretty much. So if there is any, you sign up, you put in your email address, give them your cell phone number, and you'll receive emergency messages for any incident that might be occurring in your neighborhood. The other thing I wanted to make you aware of, we got a notice too this week from the Illinois Emergency Management Agency. This is regards to some test alerts that are going to be sent out to cell phones. If you have a cell phone, the government wants to let you know of any emergencies. Now, I'll just read you this little bit here. The national alert tests for both the wireless emergency alert and the emergency alert system will be sending out messages on September 20th at 1:18 in the afternoon. Emergency test message. The Federal Emergency Management Agency will issue a nationwide wireless emergency alert testing the presidential wireless emergency alert system. The test message will be available to all compatible cell phones. If you have an older cell phone, you won't be getting that message. If you got an old flip phone, you probably won't be getting it. Please note that some other phones won't be receiving the text message. The nationwide wireless emergency test will be followed 2 minutes after that test by the one from the emergency alert system. So it'll come up, it'll say presidential alert, and then it'll say underneath there, this is a test. So they're testing the system to notify the public of any emergencies on their cell phones. Like again, that's the first test is at 1:18 on September 20th, and the second one is at 1:20 on September 20th. So that'll be coming. When you see it, don't freak out. It's just a test. The other thing I have here, I was going to talk about the safety, child safety belt seat test, but Trustee Tucker took care of that. And I would also just like to recognize the fire department and Deputy Chief Stapleton for his applying and successfully receiving for the village a $30,970 grant for the purchase of some Lucas 3 chest compression system. This is a system that they can use in the rigs or out on the site to apply chest compressions for people who are having some cardiac arrest. So thank you to the fire department and Deputy Chief Stapleton. Please thank you for that. The fire department's been pretty active getting some grants, and it helps. Every little bit helps. So thank you. Thanks to the fire department for that, and specifically Deputy Chief Stapleton. So, and with that, I think that's everything on my list. The next board meeting, by the way, is right here on September 24th at 7 p.m. And with that, we'll go on to the manager's report.
Thank you, Your Honor. I just want to remind everyone that we have the second annual Villa Park Brew Fest on September 29th at 2 o'clock from 2 to 5 at the Cortese Veterans Memorial Park. For tickets, you can visit the village's website and go to the Parks and Recreation page, and you can purchase all your tickets online this year. Second item for me, Your Honor and Board, is I had the honor to visit the Plaza on the Path, on the Prairie Path this year over the weekend. Staff pulled me aside and told me that it was the best event ever. Had over 100 people at 11 o'clock a.m. That's quite a few, Your Honor. A lot of folks, a lot of dogs. It was a nice event. Thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah, okay, thank you. And with that, we'll move down to item 21, which is executive session. So, you know, we just should be a short one. So it's executive session, 5 ILCS 120/2, C1, personnel matters, C2, collective bargaining matters, C5, purchase or lease of property, C6, sale and lease of property, C11, pending litigation, and C21, discussion of closed session minutes. Do I have a motion for executive session? Trustee Wagner?
I'd like to make that motion.
Okay. Trustee Allo? Second. Okay. Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Case?
Yes.
Trustee Kazone?
Yes.
Trustee Tucker?
Yes.
Trustee Salella?
Yes.
Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
Trustee Aiello?
Yes.
President Boltus?
Okay, with that, we're going to executive session, and we will not be coming out back after executive session. See you on the 24th.
Never saw us again.